Right there, AP Latin. Here we are. I want you to stop what you're doing and go ahead and read and summarize book 6, chapters 1 through 12. It gets weird. All right. Now, let's translate 613. So, obviously, you've translated 613, so here we go. In Gaul, there are two types of men, or two classes of men, who are of some number, in other words, some significance, and status. For the lower class is held almost in the place of slaves, who don't dare do anything on their own power or by themselves. This class is included in no democratic assembly. They are, in as much as they're held down either by the amount of bronze that belongs to another, in other words, the amount of debt they've got, or by the size of the taxes, or simply by the violence of powerful men. Very many men officially proclaim themselves into slavery to the upper class. So your taxes get so big that you can't pay them that you're like, you know what, I'll just be your slave, you pay my taxes. Or you get so much debt because you have to pay your taxes, or so much debt that you're like, you know what, I'll just sell myself into slavery. For whom, as slaves, all the same rights toward them exist, which exist for masters toward their slaves. So you can sell yourself into slavery, and you're quite literally a slave. And that's a choice that you can make, and a lot of them do in that society. But about these other two classes, one is called the Druids, and the other is called the Equestrians. Well, it's not that they're called, it's that they are. The former, the Druids, are engaged in sacred things. They conduct public and private sacrifices. They interpret all things religious. To these, a large number of young men flock in order to learn and to take instruction. And the Druids are in great honor amongst them, the Gauls. For they, the Druids, judge almost all public and private disputes, and if any crime has been committed, if a murder has been committed, if it's have anything to do with inheritance, if it has to do with boundaries, there's a dispute, they render judgment then too. And they dictate the rewards and punishments. If either any private person or tribe has not abided by their judgments, they, the Druids, can prohibit or do prohibit that person or tribe from sacrifices. That's a big deal, and I'll probably talk to you guys about it. This punishment is amongst them the most severe, because you don't get to be part of the public sacrifice. You can't honor the gods. If you didn't honor the gods won't protect you. On and on we go. More importantly, you don't get to eat meat. These, the people against whom they have been prohibited, so the people who are banned from sacrifices, are held in the lowest esteem. Amongst them, the number of the wicked and the criminal. Everyone flees from these people upon their approach, and flees from their conversation. So nobody will talk to them. They're just non-persons. Lest any infection, any evil should come from their contact with them. Nor will justice be granted to them if they are seeking it, nor will any honor be imparted to them. So it's not just you that's at stake here, it's your kids, it's your tribe. Over these Druids, there is one Druid who is the highest, amongst who among them all holds the highest authority. If he dies, or when he dies, Either if someone exceeds the rest, everybody's like, oh, that's the one, or if there are several who are equal in worth, then it is decided by vote of the Druids. However, not infrequently, also it's decided with weapons, and they compete for the chief post. So, I think I should be in charge. Everybody agrees. Yeah, okay. Somebody else, I think I should be in charge. Someone else, I think I should be in charge. Let's vote on it. Comes to a tie, or somebody didn't like the tie, then they fight on it. These men, at a certain time every year, gather or assemble in a consecrated place in the middle of the borders of the Carnutes. And if you look at the map of the Carnutes, we're talking close to the center of Gaul. From everywhere, everybody who has disputes comes to this place, and then they obey the decisions and judgments of these men. Their teaching is believed to have been discovered in Britain and to have been brought into Gaul from there. And now, those who more thoroughly wish to learn this thing, that is the way of the Druids, for the most part, set out to Britain to learn it. So, Caesar stops and everything else, and he's like, by the way, anthropology. All right, I'm going to hit the button.